discuss the latest coming out of Ukraine is friend of the show, Joel Rubin. He is the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State. Joel, Ukrainian President Zelensky addressed his nation on Friday, the 16th day of the invasion, which it's difficult to believe that you and I have been talking about this for that long. He's asking his people to stay strong and continue fighting. Is it surprising to you that the capital still has not fallen? Is Ukraine putting up more of a fight than even they may have expected?
Well, Ashley, you know, the Ukrainians are brave people. They're a strong people. They're clearly a passionate, committed people to their own independence. And so it's not a surprise to see how they've been fighting. But it is certainly shocking to see how the Russian military has been ground down in this conflict. And this is something when we were talking before the invasion, we were talking about this, that Russia was going to get into a war that it would not like. It was going to get into a war that was not going to be easy. It was going to get into a war where it was going to be intractable in many regards and bogged down in a type of insurgency potentially even after this phase. So here we are. Our intelligence community predicted this. It's horrifying to watch. The Ukrainian people are incredibly brave and strong, and they are staring down a very large army and putting it in its place.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Russia is claiming that Ukraine is preparing to fight back using chemical weapons, but Zelensky has denied those claims. How do these accusations, not maybe the acts themselves potentially or not, but how do the accusations benefit Russia? Why say that?
Yeah, it's a great point. Look, Russia is all about disinformation. Russia has been for months attempting to confuse the world, gaslight international opinion into believing that there was some type of threat coming from Ukraine, which there was not. There was no aggression by Ukraine. This is all organized by Russia. And so disinformation is a critical piece of their aggressive strategy. And they've been trying to use it for months to divide the West, to divide the United States from NATO, to weaken our resolve on, for example, sanctions and punishing sanctions and military support. And this is another layer of that. They went to the United Nations today preposterously to argue that this was a threat they had to take out. And the Ukrainian ambassador to the UN was there and rebutted it forcefully. Our ambassador, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, said one sentence, basically, these are lies and this war has to stop. So this is intended to undermine us and our resolve to help them actually achieve their diabolical goals.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you and I have talked about sanctions a lot. There have been a couple of waves of them at this point. So how do you perceive the new round of sanctions President Biden announced? Will they affect Russia and Putin in the coming days or months more so than the previous sanctions have?
Yeah, so it's clear that the sanctions are working. The sort of sanctions wallop that the Biden administration laid into Russia with has really knocked them back. The ruble is crumbling. The stock markets haven't been opened. They have significant spikes in inflation. They don't have access to their foreign currency reserves. It can go on and on and on. And basically what we're seeing is the noose is tightening around their economy to the point where they are being cut off. Private companies are leaving. The United States is not going to import their oil anymore. It continues. And so these sanctions are just another layer of doing two things, really. First, disconnecting Russia further from the global economy and making it more expensive for Russia to even engage. That's what technically this most favored nation status did. But it's also symbolic, and it's a symbolism that really shuts the door on Russia and says, you are not welcome here anymore. It is a political slap, and it is demonstrating not just to Vladimir Putin, but to his people that they are now clearly being identified as the aggressor and that they are the ones that need to stop this war. It's impacting, and if it wasn't impacting, we wouldn't see the kinds of aggressive moves on the ground and the aggressive moves at the UN that Russia is doing to try to justify this completely unjustifiable invasion.
Yeah. Joel Rubin, thank you so much, as always, for coming here and explaining this to us. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Ashley.
you.